Welcome, my friends, to another entry in our Community Cast series. In this match, we're going to have a showdown between the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be led by Big Block, and the Lizardmen, who shall be helmed by Pugnabone. So on that note, guys, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So for the Warriors of Chaos, here in the front line, it looks like we do have three groups of the Chaos Warriors with great weapons, which I feel like are a pretty solid choice. A lot of dinosaur players, or I should say Lizardmen players, bring Temple Guards. So you're going to be seeing Star Chamber Guardian, Standard Temple Guard, because they're pretty good against Chaos, right? For dual purpose. They're anti-large and armor piercing against characters like Kolek and Dragon Ogre Shaggots. Plus they have good enough AP and sustained combat stats to fight against the Chaos Infantry. So I feel like the Chaos Warriors with great weapons are a pretty safe pick. So in total, he does have three of those. The Demon Spew as well. So you don't see these guys terribly often in the center line. They're more often used on the flanks to kind of collapse formations. But they do have some decent utility for frontline play. They do have the Swarm of Flies, so it is going to be giving -5 melee attack to all nearby troops, which is a pretty good debuff. Hopefully it's something we'll see in game 3 with a lot of the Nurgle stuff that's potentially coming. So the Demon Spew here are going to be going in deep, hopefully having some fun, and we'll see how they do. He does, of course, have Kolek Sun Eater, the Mountain God himself. He's got that big old Star Crusher. This guy's ready to party, so Kolek's a good choice against the dinos. The dinos do have a couple range tools against them now. Of course, the Salamander hunting packs, and they have Feral Carnosaurs and a lot of anti-large tools, but Kolek is still a good choice. He can go fisticuffs, he can pound out infantry, Lord of the Storm, is that what it's actually called? Lord of the Storm? I think so. Yes, I got it right. So Lord of the Storm, quite good against elite infantry, plus he can fight Croxagores, he can go after Slann. Kolek is a very solid pick for sure. On top of that, he does have a Metal Caster, so going for that sweet final transmutation. He does have the Plague of Rust, but it's probably just a bit of a backup. I have a feeling he's really going to be putting his elements into the final transmutation. In the back, he's got a couple halberds as well, which are going to be defending his assets here in the back line, plus dealing with Blitz and Croxagores and heavy frontline troops trying to slam into him. And he does also have a Hell Cannon. So the Hell Cannon is something that, pre-patch, pre-Prophet and Warlock, I didn't think it was that great against dinos, but with the advent of Temple Guard, like I said, and the Slann Death Stars, and of course you're seeing characters like Croak, I feel like the Hell Cannon is very good against that style of play, and you can see it's already getting some pretty good value against Star Chamber Guardian. So we'll see how this bad boy does here in the back line. On the flanks for Chaos, he does have a group of Marauder Horsemasters, which synergize very well with Plague of Rust, and another group over there as well. Now for the Dino Army, very scary stuff. He's got Temple Guard across the entire front line with a couple RCSs, Red Crested Skinks here on the flanks, and they're very good against Chaos. At the very least, they apply poison. They'll lose to most Chaos Warrior units, but they'll put a big hurt on them for the cost. So Red Crested Skinks, a very, very good choice here. I'm really liking this Lizard Army. He's got Temple Guard, and also he does have the Star Chamber Guardians here in the back, and it looks like there's going to be a Skink Priest with Lore of Heavens for Wind Blast? No, that's Harmonic Convergence, it looks like, and Curse of the Midnight Wind, so just all the debuff spells. Croxagores going in for that sweet slam dunk, and he does also have the Red Crested Skink Chief, who's going to be on his Velociraptor, so he's kind of anti-large there. I still think on the Stegodon, he's a more powerful choice because he can actually fight Kolek evenly. But here he's not bad either. So that's pretty much it for the Dino Army. Just a big old grindy Death Star coming in with Temple Guard, Croxagores, and a bunch of Skinks. So it's certainly going to be very tough for the Chaos front line to handle this. You can see Chaos does have a lot of assets invested in Hell Cannon, Marauder Horsemasters. So their front line investment is going to be a little bit light compared to what you see here from the Dinos. So my only worry for them is that they're going to get trounced very quickly, but Kolek, of course, can do some work, so hopefully he'll be able to help hold for their sake. But hopefully for the Dinos, the Croxagores and company can just go to Pound Town. So the Hell Cannon getting some nice shots against the Temple Guard. Only took out one Temple Guard right there, but it looks like it did take out about 9 models from the Star Chamber Guardians, so it should certainly be focusing these guys. The Star Chamber Guardians are just like one of the most powerful great weapon units in the game. And again, for anyone who doesn't know, units of the Temple Guard, for example, they are technically a halberd infantry unit, which means halberds have slower attack rates than great weapons, but the Temple Guard are a bit of an exception. Their attack rates are kind of in between halberds and great weapons, if memory serves. I can't remember when I looked at the stats last. Maybe it's changed, but that's how it was before. So the Dinosaur Army is going to be taking a little bit of a pounding here from the Hell Cannon, but they're going to be getting pretty close here. Hell Cannon going for that sweet, just like up and down dive, and it does hit the Skinks in the back. But the Warriors of Chaos are going to surge forth. But the Demon Spew are just going to get pounded by Croxagores. That is a horrible matchup for the Forsaken. So they get punted. It looks like the Croxagores weren't even attacking them. They're actually going after these Chaos Warriors here. But the Demon Spew will lower the melee attack. But, Forsaken in general have pretty pitiful melee defense stats. You can see 29 on these guys. Very, very low stuff. So the front line of Chaos is getting hammered really hard, pretty much losing on every front so far. The Halberds are going to be surging forth, which is going to help quite a bit against these troops, and it looks like there's going to be a final transmutation going down, so beautiful cast there from the Chaos player. Getting a nice little cast of Croxagore, Star Chamber Guardians, plus the Red Crested Skink Chief. So that's a very cost-effective cast, but nonetheless, his front line still is starting to buckle. Chaos Warriors are taking a lot of pressure from the Guardians and Croxagores and all that good stuff, but man, look at the damage, and the Halberds are now surging in and getting some pretty good damage in here. They're actually fending off the Croxagores. Kolek's helping over here, but he has done some decent damage against the Croxagores, but nonetheless, the Chaos Warriors with great weapons are just getting trounced in the front line by this onslaught of Lizard, heavy mass here. On the other side, it's a little bit closer. The Chaos Warriors are saturated already with the Halberds, plus they have the Demon Spew, lowering melee attack, but eventually they will lose. The Red Crested Skinks, just in these numbers, getting a beautiful surround here. You can see these Chaos Warriors and the flanks are just being clubbed by these little red boys, and they're certainly having a pretty bad time. So we're going to see if Chaos can kind of sustain this situation, but it looks like they're getting just run over here in the front line. Now, the balance power is relatively even. Kolek and company in the middle are able to do some pretty good work against the Croc scores and the other troops due to the final transmutation, and he still does have the Marauder Horsemasters who can provide some utility, but really there's not too many good targets aside from the Croc scores, and in the back, this is really bad for Chaos. Right here, the red crested skinks are able to jump onto the Hell Cannon, and that's going to be pretty big. That's a big investment. Hell Cannons aren't cheap, so getting the little skinks back here to just pound these Chaos Dwarves is going to be pretty disastrous. Oh, look at the little Chaos Dwarves doing their headbutts. But yeah, these guys need a fleshed out roster to fight against these skinks right here. But the Chaos Dwarves are going to be losing that fight here in the back, of course, and Kolek dropping a nice little Lord of the Storm right there, but the bounce power is already pretty heavily in the favor of the dinosaurs here. The Temple Guard and all these other troops are just going to be hunting down this giant Shaggoth Beast Lizard Ogre thing, and it looks like the Metal Sorcerer is going to be jumping into the fight as well, trying to lend his aid, because Chaos Sorcerers in general aren't terrible combatants. And is that a final transmutation? It looks like Curse of the Midnight Wind is going to be going down. So it's going to be lower melee attack and armor, a very, very good debuff right there. Going to be neutering that Chaos Force pretty substantially there in the middle. Now, if we take a big look at the battlefield, the Hell Cannon is 100% offline. The red crested skinks back there are actually cleaning up a lot of these Chaos Forces, these Chaos Warriors back here are going to maybe actually lose this fight to the skinks here. I mean, 34 melee attack is pretty good, and it's only weighing in against 32 melee defense, so they're going to be able to make pretty good contact. They have poison and great AP, so certainly not a bad situation. Now, for the first time in the battle, the dinos, I was about to say the lion lizardmen, that doesn't make sense, but the lizardmen do take a pretty substantial lead in regards to the bounce of power. Kolek Sun Eater certainly has his work cut out for him. I mean, there's a lot of Temple Guard, a lot of troops left, but Chaos, what do they even have left? I mean, they have some Marauder Horsemen here on the flanks, some Marauder actually Horsemasters, I should say, so they're a little bit more proficient melee. They are able to win a fight here against the skinks, it looks like, with a little bit of support coming in, but yeah, there's more skinks just everywhere, and this is just a fat Death Star. Plus, the Red Crested Skink Chief is still in okay shape, but Kolek's healthy. I mean, if the Red Crested Skink Chief does overextend a little bit, Kolek could certainly turn around and take him to Pound Town pretty bad, so we'll see how that goes. Plague of Rust is going to be getting dropped on the Temple Guard here, allowing these horsemen to do a little bit more damage, but nonetheless, they are shielded, though they're running away, so if their back is turned to a missile, the shield isn't going to be helping them, but Kolek's going to be going in balls deep, trying to just crunch on this Red-Crested Skink, who is an anti-large specialist, but so is Kolek. I mean, he's truly an anti-large beat stick. So he's going to be going after the Skink Chief, who does have Harmonic Convergence, giving him some pretty juicy stats right there. Kolek lobbing a couple Croc scores, but a very risky engagement. He's surrounded by Temple Guard, Croc scores. I mean, this is just a dicey situation here. So he's going to be pulling back, looking for probably a more opportune engagement. Maybe go after the Skink Priest caster and try and take him out. But the bounce power very heavily in the favor of the dinos. It's looking pretty grim here for the Warriors of Chaos. The Marauder Horsemen are going to be kiting back, but good play here. Kind of knowing that he can't win this Death Star, might as well go around and just pick off any freebies you can. It's just, you know, go for the goodies. It's like if you're playing Warhammer 40k, for example, and your opponent's winning heavily, just go for the weak assets, try and get some points, and maybe you can win on objectives and things like that, rather than taking their army head on. So over here, you can see the Marauder Horsemasters are able to jump on the Skink Courts with Javelins, might be able to break those guys, but the Croc score slam, look at this, just a train of dinosaurs coming in here. Kolek and company are going to be stroking that Forbidden Rod over there, and as far as the rest of the Chaos Forces, we have some Halberds, we have some Chaos Warriors in the forest who are going to be beaten down by the Skinks probably. I think Skinks are probably going to win this just due to sheer numbers, and they're big old clubs there. Yeah, those Chaos Warriors are not having a good time. So Red Crested Skinks, very, very solid in this matchup. I mean, maybe arguably having a combination of Marauders plus standard Chaos Warriors could be pretty good here. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. I mean, in the last build I brought against Lizardmen, I think it was a combination of Marauders and Great Weapons, like a little bit of both, which I think is probably, because getting standard Marauders against Skinks is going to be pretty effective. But anyways, Kolek, Sun Eater, and company here going to be going in. It looks like the dinos are going to be forming a battle line here, but Kolek's still pretty healthy. I mean, he's got some mojo, but this is, you know, what I've often referred to as the point of no return. When you're like this far in the balance of power, if like anything goes bad for Chaos here, any like big substantial drop in HP goes, I mean, that's going to be probably army losses pretty damn quick. But Kolek's kind of tanking in there, and some of the Javelins are doing good, but look at this. Oh, a juicy cast coming in from the Chaos Sorcerer here. It's going to be hitting all of these guys. Oh no, did Kolek knock the Skink out of that? It looks like, oh, it wasn't overcasted, so it's not going to be like complete devastation, but it does some pretty good damage. It's able to hit this entire pocket of troops. A very, very good blob up right there. And of course, when someone's on the ropes like this, you're not going to be expecting them to, have assets like that. Some Chaos Warriors are going to be coming back in, and it looks like Kolek might be trying to rally up some of his troops. He's going to be going for the scraps over here. So yes, he's going to be going for the weaker pockets of Lizardmen with his Chaos Sorcerer. Obviously, they do have the mobility advantage, and I think they have some ammunition left on the Horsemasters. Looks like they have a fair amount. Looks like they have about 7 volleys left, and they're going to be poking at the Croc scores, which is a good choice, probably. Temple Guard here, and I think the Star Chamber Guardians are still around, or maybe they actually fell in combat. 50 Temple Guard right there, Temple Guard right here, and the Star Chamber Guardians, I don't know if they're still around. I don't know. I don't think they are. It looks like they might have overchased, like in the Shadow Realm somewhere. Maybe over here, that looks like there's something rampaging. Let's go ahead and check. Looks like these are Croc scores who are just chasing those horsemen off into the sunset there. But Kolek is able to chase these guys off, getting rid of a couple Croc scores there, which is going to be good. Lizardmen are hot in pursuit right now, taking a little bit of fire as well from the Marauder horsemen, who are probably going to be running out of ammunition relatively soon. They have 4 volleys left, but they're peppering. Yeah, there's the Star Chamber Guardians. Okay, I thought we missed them. But Kolek's going to be coming in. You know, he did get a little bit of separation between all these forces here, so he's going to be fighting, dropping a Lord of the Storm, summoning the might of the Chaos Gods here. And the Chaos Sorcerer with Metal is certainly in trouble. The Red Crested Skink is going to be... Ooh, man, I flagged everything. Warriors Crest Pop, Harmonic Convergence, a lot of buffs are going to be going down on that Red Crested Skink. And the balance power actually ebbs a little bit back towards the middle, which is absolute lunacy here. But Kolek is, you know, they don't call him the Mountain God for nothing. He's an absolute beast. And it looked like a bit of a misclick here with the Cube of Darkness. It was supposed to be on the Sorcerer here to lower his recharge. But Kolek actually terrifies like all these guys, including the Red Crested Skink Chief. So Terror is playing a pretty substantial factor. The Guardian ability, I don't think was close enough. I think the Star Chamber Guardians were a little bit out of range there. So Kolek is able to come in and actually is maybe going to be able to take this guy out. That is insane. And the Chaos Sorcerer Metal, look at this. He's just leading. He's like leading his people through the desert here, leading these Lizardmen off the map. This is so much value here from the Chaos Sorcerer. I mean, this is a lot of power in terms of Lizardmen troops. Their caster, some Croc scores, a bunch of Red Crested Skinks. I mean, if he can actually chase those guys off, that is going to be a huge value train. From here, the Red Crested Skink Chief is going to be stabilizing, but he's going to be taking some pokes here. Oh my god, the Marauder Horsemen actually break the Red Crested Skink Chief and they chase him off. That is disastrous for the dinosaurs. He's going to be able to easily just get killed by, well, yeah, there he goes. Marauder Horsemen are not pushovers. And Kolek is able to finish off some of those guys. And that Chaos Sorcerer is going to be escorting those guys into the sunset. Man, what a value train for Chaos here. And you can see the Temple Guard is still here. The Temple Guard, or yeah, the Star Chamber Guardians, yeah, just the line of Temple Guard. So it's basically going to be Kolek and his posse here. And a couple of halberds, these brave Chaos Warriors with halberds, are going to be unifying their formation and getting ready to go over here. And it looks like the Lizardman player in the meantime is going to be trying to split up his forces to intercept the Chaos Caster, which is a good choice. If you can get that guy, it's going to be incredibly good. And the Chaos Caster doesn't have much room to work with. Oh man, he should have just split those guys out a little bit more. And the Chaos Caster is so close to breaking and he gets away. He ran the barricade. It's like in the Attack of the Clones in Star Wars when they ran the barricade there. But anyways, yeah, he makes it. Wow. So he's going to be unifying with Kolek. That's a pretty big situation. I mean, having an extra, you know, combatant or a caster like this to rear charge and just do work is going to be very powerful. Horsemen are getting ready for the final battle. Temple Guard are going to be surging down. Everyone's pretty much exhausted. Kolek is actually only winded, believe it or not, so he's got some cardio, this guy. He's going to be charging in. Final battle is underway. Halberds are going to be engaging as well. And these Lizardmen troops, I mean, they're going to be pretty good against a lot of these things. Lord of the Storm getting dropped as well. Rear charge is coming in from the Chaos Infantry, or the Cav units, I should say. Beautiful work. He's able to, you know, tatter up the Star Chamber Guardians, keep them out of combat a little bit longer. But of course, the remnants of the Chaos Forces are, you know, pretty beat. I mean, he's got 18 Marauder Horsemen. His caster here hasn't taken any damage, so 339 HP on this bad boy. But the rear charge coming in from the Marauder Horsemen is going to be very, very good. And oh, that first terror route on the Temple Guard is huge. These Temple Guard are actually shaken up. They're at 15, 11 leadership. The rear charges from the Horse Masters might break them. And the terror route is so huge here. The Star Chamber Guardians are actually not immune to psychology, so those guys do get broken off. And that means, yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be able to get a ton of value right there. And now these 36 Temple Guard, the terror from Kolek, the Mountain God terrifies the last of those Lizardmen forces, and that's going to be all she wrote. So that is one of the bigger comebacks I've seen in quite some time. You guys saw the Mount's power. It was like 30%. And like that was almost, I mean, what I would arguably have called in many of my casts a point of no return, but this fine gentleman at Big Block sent that to me. He's like, yeah, you might want to reevaluate your point of no return statement because apparently it can be done. So beautiful play there. The army, I mean, it had good tools. Hell Cannon against Temple Guard. These guys are pretty good against big dinosaurs with Plague of Rust. Fundamentally, there was a lot of good things about it. But man, that Lizardman front line did run him over like really, really brutally. But he was able to come back, stay calm, rallied, methodically went after high value targets and got himself back in the game. I mean, both players played a beautiful game. So very well played a Big Block as well as Pugnabone. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this community cast, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.